better stats. I think anytime you look at a starting lineup, it's also got to be what complements the lineup. We already know that we have Jamal, Michael, Aaron, Nicola, pretty good four-man unit. You know, which player is going to help complement the starters? Which player is going to help complement that second unit? You know, but both Christian and Julian would get chances to be with both groups. And I never believe in just giving things away. You know, I want guys to earn it, fight for it. And, you know, Christian's done it. I mean, he started games. And obviously Julian, much younger, he'll have a chance as well. But, you know, competition's healthy. And lucky for me, we have two young players who are going to make a very tough decision.
Coach, here, welcome back. You mentioned twice the word failure. I want to know how do you use that? How do you use all the things that you said as a motivation and to, you know, tell the team to be better to this team?
Can you repeat that?
When you said the word failure twice, do you use that as an extra motivation? Do you use that for you as for the team and as an extra motivation to be better this season? Or do you think you're going to be like, you know, relaxed about that and you just said that word and you just mentioned that here?
Well, the way I use the word failure is that from the outside, everybody views our season as a failure because we didn't win it. And that's, in one hand, it's a compliment because we've set the standard so high and we were the defending champions. You know, but failure can be a motivation, you know, but it can't be fatal. You have to learn from your failure. And it can motivate you to look deep within to find ways that you can be better across the board, organizationally, players, coaches, collectively. And anytime you come short of achieving your goals, you know, you feel like you left something out there. And I just hope that our players have used that this offseason to force them to come back improved and with a mindset of let's attack this season. Not ease into it, but let's attack it and remind everybody of who we are and what we're capable of.
Michael, with as many young guys as you have on this roster, there are a lot of guys who grew up even watching Russell Westbrook kind of in his prime. I'm curious if he's had any early impact since signing with the team, just even in sort of a practice setting or whatever it may be. And have you had any sort of conversations with him about expectations for him this season, basically?
Yeah, no, I've met with Russ quite a bit, talked with him, great conversations. First and foremost, just have so much respect for his body of work. And, you know, the only thing that he hasn't accomplished is winning an NBA championship. That's the only thing missing from a very, very impressive resume. And he saw something in this team, this group of players, this franchise, where he wanted to be a part of that. And that speaks to, you know, what we have going on here. You know, Russ was in the gym yesterday, and there was just a different energy. Can't explain it, but it's just his voice, his leadership, his intensity, his competitive spirit, I think are all things that are not only going to help this team, but I think he's going to really help individual players kind of achieve their potential and push them to be the best that they can be. So I love that he's here. You know, I think Russell Westbrook, first ballot Hall of Famer. I love guys that bring it every single night, and that's what he's done every game he's ever played in.
I'm going to ask a little more directly. You're competitive, you've been in this business a long time, and you know the standards for coaches in terms of wins and losses. A lot's been made of the front office's movement towards addressing CBA challenges with young players, and then the competition with that with trying to win a title. What's your view on trying to approach this season and any potential disagreements or conflicts that there might be between your priorities as a coach and what the front office has to do?
Well, you know, me, Calvin, Josh, I think as long as we're aligned and communicating and collaborating and also challenging each other, like Calvin and I shouldn't always agree. If we're always agreeing, then we're not really accomplishing what we need to accomplish. But through those disagreements and through those conversations, you come to a greater good. And this is a reality. I mean, like you look across the NBA landscape, teams are letting great players walk because they don't want to approach that really dirty word of second apron. And as a coach, I have to educate myself because I put blinders on. How do we win the game tonight? But I have to give respect to Calvin. I have to give respect to Josh and understand that it's more than just tonight. It's also a much bigger perspective on how we're going to be set up for success, not just tonight and this season, but for down the road. And all you ever want as a coach is to have the support from your front office and have the support from your ownership group. And I have that. I've had that from day one, and I feel very fortunate to have the relationship that I have with both Calvin and Josh because I've been around this game a long time, and I know that doesn't exist in a lot of places.
Coach, you've said a lot that, dynasties aren't linear. You've brought up the Spurs in the past in terms of they've never won any. They didn't win back-to-back, but, they won a number of championships over a number of periods of time. What does that look like for you if you guys are to kind of approach that kind of franchise with that kind of championship level staying power? And how important is that to you guys, going into this year to kind of accomplish something like that?
Oh, it's really important. If you're not striving to be the best, what are you, now you're just wasting time. And like Moses Malone used to say, ain't no half-stepping. If you're going to do it, do it. And I think we have a locker room of 21 players down there, excited for camp, but also excited for what the season holds. And, Jamal Murray said something really interesting. Like, he reminded his teammates, don't take this for granted. Like, we have a championship window. Not every team has a championship window. And what do? Do you take advantage of that, or do you look back in 20 years and have regrets? And the vibe and feel I get from our players is that they tasted success. They tasted being feeling what it's like to be on that mountaintop. We were knocked off last year. So, let's get back up. Don't feel sorry for ourselves and continue to work. But I made the point about San Antonio because everybody wants to repeat, but they never did that. But they had a standard of excellence year in and year out. When you ask anybody in the NBA community, they'll say, hell yeah, San Antonio definitely had a dynasty. And, you want to be remembered as a team that achieved greatness, and hopefully we can do that. That's our goal this year, and I'm excited to start this journey with everybody in this building pulling in the same direction.
Coach, back here. What position is Peyton? And I don't mean like shooting guard, small forward. I mean like on offense, is he, along the perimeter, or is he in that dunker spot? On defense, do you see him more up top, guarding point of attack, or do you want him a little bit closer to the rim as that secondary shot blocker?
All the above, and the reason I say that is because in today's NBA, I think versatility is such a key word. And so you talk about Peyton offensively. Can he play along the dunker and mimic what Aaron Gordon does with Nikola? Of course he can, and I think he's going to get better and better at that. Can he be a guy that catches on the perimeter and go and catch and attack the rim? We were, I think, 29th in free throw attempts a game last year. Peyton Watson should be living at the foul line. He has to have that attack mindset. He shot around 29 from three last year, and we have a goal for him this year to be obviously 35 or higher. Lofty goal. He's put the time in. He's put the reps in. And if teams are going to leave him open, he's got to make them pay. Defensively, what I love about Peyton is he can guard Steph Curry one night. He can guard Kevin Durant the next night. He can guard Karl Anthony Towns maybe the night after. And so I think it's my job to put him on the best matchup for us. Who can he go out there and stop? And I think it's important for Peyton to continue to work on his offensive craft, but always come into every game thinking, how can I dominate defensively? Because when he does that, that ignites our break, and that's when I think we're at our best. I think Peyton's offensive and defensive versatility is very impressive, and you'll see him probably all over the court doing a lot of everything this year.
Coach, staying on the topic of defense, you mentioned the absence of KCP. Last couple of years, you've had the luxury of being able to assign him to the best guard on the other team. How do you envision it working now? Who guards Steph Curry, John Morant, the smaller guards You have a number of guards that are eligible. How do you see that working out, guarding a smaller guy?
Yeah, well, I think, just look at the job Christian Brown did in the playoffs. I thought Christian's defense on Anthony Edwards, one of the tougher perimeter players in the league, was really impressive. So I think Christian Brown has shown and proven to me that he's willing to take on that responsibility. It's funny, I think when people talk about Russell Westbrook, no one really mentions defense. They mention how quick he is, how explosive he is, the rebounding, the playmaking. When we went back and watched as a staff his defense last year with the Clippers, end of games, he was on the opposing team's best player every night. Every night. So you have a guy that you can close games with in Russell Westbrook, who knows the league, knows personnel, has a respect of the officials, and has a competitive, I'm going to get in your shit mindset that I love. So, and other people as well. We talked about Peyton Watson being a guy that can guard bigs and smalls. And I've seen Jamal Murray be a guy, when locked in, can be a great defender. So it's going to take all of us. I'm not going to put it on just one player. We were a top 8 defense last year. Our goal this year is to be top 3. And I think we have that within us.
Michael, this is 10 years with the Denver Nuggets, a lot accomplished there, but I imagine it's a double-edged sword. Do you concern yourself at all with keeping the message fresh and not letting the room get stale? And as a second point, is there anything with the team where you look at, even though we've had success, for the sake of keeping things fresh, let's try to add new wrinkles, new roles and responsibilities to different guys?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the same coach I was 10 years ago when I first got here. And one thing that we always do, Adam, is that we take a deep dive and look within after each season, try to identify whatever blind spots we may have, but also trying to find ways to keep things fresh for Nikola, for Jamal, 10 years, 9 years, for Michael, for Aaron, guys that have been here, expanding packages, creating new packages, trying new things defensively, coming up with new drills in practice. And what also helps is as you bring in new players, like a Deron Holmes, like a Trey Alexander, Russell Westbrook, Dario Saric, I think new blood comes in here also allows you to kind of keep it fresh somewhat. So, yeah, I think I hate monotony. I hate doing the same thing every day. And I think we've done a pretty good job of trying to challenge ourselves to keep things as fresh as possible, but by also not losing sight of how and why we've been so successful. And our culture has kind of been a mainstay. That hasn't changed. The people around it, the philosophies on offense and defense may change, but at the end of the day, at our core, we have to maintain our Denver Nuggets culture and be disciplined and adhere to that. Thanks, everybody.